If we could travel through time, we could see the great interest that humanity has in romance, and of course, the doomed romantic narrative. Literature provides the reader with narratives that capture our interests. We have an interest in romance as love is a core aspect of our human identity. The failed romantic storyline sustains our interest as romantic relationships can be thwarted by the contextual values, making happiness unattainable. Our first stop is the Victorian era. The great poet Robert Browning explores doomed romance in the context of Victorian values by subverting rational Victorian values of prudishness and sexual repression. Porphyria's Lover and My Last Duchess reflect a new way of conveying the doomed narrative through unsettling imagery. In Porphyria's Lover, the use of the dramatic monologue captures the death of Porphyria through violence perpetrated by the lover. The doomed romance is explored through the obsession and possessiveness of the lover, which is captured in pathetic fallacy and alliteration.
The rain set early in tonight. The sullen wind was soon awake.
Suggests that the narrator has awoken in anger. Moreover, the use of nature explores his inner world evident in
It tore the elm tops down for spite.
The violent image captures the aggressiveness of the speaker and conflict between gender through the subversion of traditional Victorian gender roles. Porphyria is depicted as the dominant partner in the relationship and a controlling female subverting patriarchal values as she
Withdrew the dripping cloak and shawl. She put my arm about her waist.
Her actions
And knelt and made the chill as great. She put my arm about her waist.
are both images attributable to Victorian males. Porphyria's presence brings a change of mood as she is described in positive imagery as she glided in, making the cottage warm. This is in juxtaposition with the raging storm around her. This represents the way in which the two lovers are doomed, reinforcing how patriarchy can subvert romance. Robert Browning's poem My Last Duchess is a dramatic monologue capturing the power play that exists between sexes through the musings of the Duke. The Duke entertains an emissary who is negotiating a new marriage for him in a patriarchal era. The voice of the poet warns of the absolute power that men in Victorian times held over women. The narrative is from the first-person subjective point of view, the Duke of Ferrara, who portrays his last duchess by demeaning mannerisms to her character. Her faults were qualities of compassion, humility, and delight in simple pleasures, which challenged the Victorian values that were held in high esteem. Browning uses the double entendre to illustrate the motivation of the Duke for killing his duchess, as he lost control over her looks that went everywhere. This highlights the importance of a demure image in Victorian England. And now let's fast forward to the present day defined as a postmodern world. We Come Apart, written by Sarah Crossan and Brian Conaghan, uses the verse novel to convey the doomed romance narrative. Unlike Browning, who was concerned with issues of gender in the two poems we explored, We Come Apart captures the zeitgeist of Brexit Britain. This era is characterized by domestic abuse, teenage angst as a result of fragmented family dynamics, and most importantly, the angst of British citizens who are concerned with what they consider to be a migration crisis. The title We Come Apart has intertextual references to Yeats' idea,
Things fall apart. The centre cannot hold.
This becomes increasingly evident in this verse novel as it reflects the turmoil that has beset Europe and in particular its young generation that feel as if they are without purpose. The dual narrative perspective of Jess and Niku encountering each other at the reparation program highlights the difficulties of teenagers in the 21st century. The erosion of traditional values has resulted in institutionalized parenting to assist with the problems of adolescence. In section Threats and Punishments, the reader is empathetic towards Niku, who struggles with the English language. The use of colloquial language, together with syntactical errors, reveal his unfamiliarity in English, evident in When police come, they not send me to young people jail. Not only does this reveal Niku's struggle with language, but it reveals the xenophobia of others, particularly towards the adolescents of other races. Furthermore, the postmodern form includes literary allusions to Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, which foreshadows the doomed romance between Jess and Niku. The motif of the blade, he pulls Sheen blade from behind jeans, reveals the violence that characterizes the disenfranchised and working class in Britain. Moreover, the verse novel is in Brexit Britain, which gave rise to racial profiling and inequality in the UK. The section Blood on Your Hands conveys this contextual idea through the repetition of Niku's relationship with the police. You have choice, Jess, because police believing white girl speaking good English, but me, they only seeing gypsy boy with criminal paper, provides a perspective from the displaced, revealing the racial profiling that developed because of the discourse in Brexit Britain. As you can see, throughout time, romances have often been doomed, not because of the love that individuals share, but the impact of the values in the times of these individuals that ultimately led to the destruction of their relationships.